3, 2, 1, and go. We are live. Welcome to the Smash Life Experience podcast. I am your host, Michael K. Hughes, and today is season number 2, episode number 4, special guest number 4. The title of today's episode is The Athlete's Journey, from team sport to HYROX. Today's guest is a former semi-professional rugby union player from the UK, now living out in Dubai, and is a shining example of how to transition from a team sport to the booming functional fitness arena, aka HYROX. A true powerhouse of a man, he infamously pushed HYROX world record holder Hunter McIntyre all the way in the $1,000 challenge as part of the Build a UK Gym launch tour at Forders Gym Birmingham back in July 2022. Shortly after, he relocated to Dubai in September 22. After settling in and getting into a good training pattern, he made his long-awaited HYROX debut at the first ever Middle East event in Dubai in September of last year, at the start of the current 2023 season. Jumping straight in at the pro level, he finished with a very respectable first attempt time of 1 hour, 6 minutes and 26 seconds. This placed him 5th overall and 2nd in the age group. At the back end of last year, he made his mixed doubles debut with his girlfriend Alice at Frankfurt in December, finishing in a phenomenal time of 1 hour and just 50 seconds, narrowly missing the prestigious sub 60. But they finished in an overall 10th place and 2nd in the age group, earning themselves a qualification for the World Championships in France, in Nice in June. Now back in an intensive training cycle, preparing for an assault on the men's pro at the 2nd ever Dubai event in just 4 weeks. He is a calmly spoken, gentle but explosive man, and I'm excited to hear a few stories. Welcome to the show, Micky Stephens.
Yeah, it's impressive, mate. It's very well rehearsed.
Told you I had something prepared. Told you.
Yeah. You know more about me than I know about me. That's impressive.
Good man. Look, let's lots to dive into really. Let's start from the start. Give us a quick overview. We spoke a bit, but rugby. What was the background exactly? I think you said you played with Darren from Forders Gym as well. And what was the rugby career? What did that look like?
Yeah, so I played. That's where I know all Darren and Ash Scriven and all those lads really. We all played for the local team, Birmingham Solihull. So there was a load of us down there, to be fair. And then obviously Darren was obviously always doing PT on the side, so it was quite good. Like the club used to go down there. We do a lot of pre-season stuff at Darren's gym, where they'd get like the whole squad down there. Yeah, down at Forders. Right. So that's probably where it kind of, I don't know whether that's where the whole kind of like boot camp thing started. He was doing boot camp on the side, but then it's quite popular now that a lot of teams start going down there and doing that sort of stuff. And it was really good, mate. So yeah, that's where I got to know all the lads from.
Got it. What about the rugby career then? You played at Birmingham Solihull, you say?
Yeah, so playing at Birmingham Solihull, did quite a few years down there, and then I had like a little gap where I went travelling and stuff like that. Came back, did a couple more years at Bees. We got promoted into National 2. That year was a bit of a car crash year. We had loads of lads get injured and everything, and then we just missed out on surviving the league. Got relegated, and then basically the club went into liquidation. So all the lads had to leave, go to different teams. So me and a few of the other lads, then we ended up moving on to Moseley. And then like first year of Moseley, COVID hit. So that was a bit unlucky really, but that was quite a good standard to play at as well.
Yeah. So National 2 was that?
That's National 1. That was National 1. So National 2 with Bees, and then National 1 with Moseley.
So just to give people an idea, there's the Guinness Premiership. I don't think it's called the Guinness anymore, but the Premiership, then it's Championship, and then National 1, National 2. Yeah? Yeah,
correct, yeah.
Playing a good level then, it's paid, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, it was good, mate. It was it was quite full on, you know, especially when you consider like people aren't getting paid, like you're not a professional player. You know, everyone's got a full-time job and everything, so you're trying to balance the two, and at that sort of level it is quite hard. You've got like a lot of guys working their way down through the leagues, a few of the older boys as well. So it's I'd say it's quite a competitive level, but I mean, I've never played championship, but from my
Yeah.
experience of playing that one, so I thought it was quite a competitive level myself.
Okay. And what position did you play?
Anywhere in the back row. So normally open side flanker normally, but predominantly 7 and 6 with the odd little go at 8 if we were if we had a few injuries in the team, basically.
Good man. So that's where the that engine comes from then. Physical
Yeah.
engine, yeah. The engine plus the powerhouse.
Family across country runners, mate. Yeah. Now, yeah, that's where the engine comes from. Like, obviously, playing in the back row, you got to be fit. Not fast enough to be a back, not big enough to be one of the top 5. So just have a fair bit of fitness and get around the park, basically.
Perfect. Agreed. But I think that's the perfect like mold really for a HYROX, isn't it? You know, that back rower, or maybe rugby league like a centre, or again like a back rower. So it's like not the biggest of lads, because obviously they're going to struggle a bit with the running, and maybe like some of the wingers, fullbacks might struggle a bit with some of the heavier sleds and that kind of stuff. But that like flanker or back rower in rugby league centre, that's like the perfect sort of true hybrid athlete, yeah.
Yeah, in my opinion, like I mean, if you look at some of the lads that have played in the same position as me, like Ash Scriven, Darren Forder, myself, you know, we've all done good transitioning into like a bit of a hybrid sport. You know, you're not too big, but then you're not too small, too slim a build to throw the weights around as well. So you're about bang on really, especially if you've got you've got to have a good baseline of fitness to play in back row in particular. But yeah, it's the same with a lot of the rugby league lads. You know, they're fairly biggish lads anyway, but they can get around the park. So you're perfect for hybrid really.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. Love it. Now, you mentioned Forders Gym. So your first experience there was training with training with Solihull at Forders. Then it was COVID. And then after COVID, what have you done then? Because I think actually we met, a quick story on how we met was the summer strive that they do at Forders. Do you remember we were in the team of 6? I think we picked up first place as well, actually, didn't we, on the day?
Yeah, for a throw to get the team, it was quite good, mate. Yeah, I think that was like his first. No, it was either his first or his second ever strive that he'd done. But yeah, that was where obviously I met you and a fair few of the other lads, like Jay and everyone as well. So
okay, so had you not been training at Forders too much before the strive?
No, not massively. No, I'd been going down there. To be honest, I'd only just started getting into that hybrid scene, really, like the HYROX and all that sort of stuff. Obviously, my main focus was the rugby, and then I couldn't really do that and the rugby training because it was a bit too much doing both. And then I basically got an injury, went into like my last season of rugby, like after COVID. And I was like, if I pick up any more bad injuries now, I'll probably knock it on the head. Yeah. And then I ended up popping my MCL basically. Yeah. So I ended up with a knee brace and everything, and then had to come back from that. And I was like, do you know what? I can't keep getting injured. Like it's getting too much now. Yeah. But then I was like, well, I don't know what else to do. I'm not going to suddenly start playing football or something down with the lads. So, but then I thought it'd be good to go down Forders, do one of a couple of boot camps. And then obviously this was when they were fresh and they were all jumping onto the HYROX scene. Yeah. And within like 1 or 2 boot camps, he said, why don't you come down and jump on this? And I just really enjoyed it. Like, a good mixture of basically just keeping fit because I didn't know what else to do after rugby. And I've never been a person that's massive on the gym. I don't like going to the gym and just lifting weights. That's never been my scene. Right. I needed something that was going to like keep me interested, and turned up, did a couple of them. And I was like, oh, this is brilliant. And that's kind of where it all come from, really. And then obviously shortly after that was that Summer Strive event where I met you and a few of the other lads.
Yeah. Love it. No, it's a great story. Yeah, it's a great story. I think so many people are the same. Sort of me included, really. I was sort of like MMA background, and that was sort of coming to the end. I'm not officially retired just yet, but also don't hold your breath. But it's like you get to the point where the amount of time and dedication, time, effort, energy that's needed to put into being operating at a high level, whether it's MMA or rugby or whatever sport it is. As you get that little bit older, more responsibilities and so on, and you look and you think, what else is there? And if you enjoy training and being, that sort of competitive environment, And HYROX is it just ticks all the boxes, doesn't it? Really great community.
That's brilliant.
Pushing yourself mentally, So
yeah.
brilliant. And then just before you moved to Dubai in September 22, but just before you went, we had the builder. So Hunter McIntyre, the HYROX world champion, world record holder, was doing the UK tour. I think it's Hunter McIntyre, Tom Hogan from Ireland, and I think George Edwards as well is involved with them.
Yeah, that was the one.
They were doing the gym tour, weren't they? So Hunter said, "Right, I'm going to put down a challenge, $1,000 to anyone that can beat me." I can't remember exactly what the workout was. I think it was maybe a 500 ski. It was a lap.
It was like I can't remember whether it was 15 or 25. I've got it in my head 15, but it was 15 or 25 cal on the ski. And you had to come off the ski, do a lap of Forders, which was 250 meters, and then it was. I don't know whether it was pro weight or whether they just put as much on there as they can. They loaded the sleds up, and you had to push the sled like, I don't know, 25 meters or something like that, or 30 meters roughly.
It's just there.
Yeah, it was there and back.
Yeah.
But I don't think he'd ever gone on Darren's Astro before, because Darren's Astro, if you load those sleds up, you can't move them. No. So I still put it down to the fact that I had the wrong footwear on that day. Otherwise, that would have been a different scenario, mate.
What was it? I think did you come off the ski I think you came off the ski just in front, and you could see worry on his face, and he started running like, if I'm not quick here, this guy's going to beat me. Yeah, you get round. Well, the sleds about the same time,
Yeah, I came off the ski first, managed to hold him off on the run, but obviously I was a bit bigger and heavier as well. Then I was like 113 kilo when we did that. I was big, and then we got to the sled. I remember him saying at the sled, because he was like, like I thought he was going to split this field, because he was like, I've seen a big lad hit the sled, and I was confident as well. Hit the sled, I couldn't move it. I was just sliding all over the shop, and I was like, and then I just saw £1,000 just like slip away into thin air. I was gutted.
Looking off into the distance. No, that was brilliant. I just remember thinking, wow, he's going to do it. He's going to do it, and then it just at the last moment, it wasn't meant to be, was it? Wasn't meant to be. Brilliant. And then you just missed out on because I think Forders had 60, 70 people at the HYROX in October, HYROX Birmingham, October 22. I think you just a couple of weeks before, didn't you? So you just missed out on that.
Yeah. So obviously we already had the flights and everything booked in, so that didn't get changed. So we were flying out, I think, on like the 4th of September or something. So unfortunately we missed out on that one. We were a little bit gutted because we did want to do HYROX in the October. Yeah.
So you had to wait the full year then, because it wasn't until the September 23 when you finally got round to doing one. So you had a full year.
Yeah. That was the thing. Obviously, there was a few European races and everything, but like obviously we're flying here, settling in, moving and everything like that. It just didn't really get a chance. But they were meant to have a race in Dubai that year. So they'd already announced that the Middle East was going to start having all the races and the fixtures. Yeah. And then whatever happened in the end of 2022 going into 2023, the fixtures all got cancelled, basically. So none of the races got announced in the Middle East. Right. So then we went from hopefully racing like 2 or 3 times that season to not being able to race at all. And we had to wait until they rolled out the next race, which was going to be September 23. So that was the next opportunity to race, unfortunately.
Yeah. I guess unfortunately meaning that you didn't get to experience the HYROX event, but fortunately in a way, because it meant you had a good solid block of training in Dubai.
Yeah. I mean, obviously training was a bit disrupted when we first got out here predominantly because of the job, to be honest with you. But the first probably 6 months being out here weren't really like we hardly trained, to be honest. Really? So then I'd say the training kind of started from about March onwards of 23, and then we'd got like a decent block in. And then when HYROX got announced, I think it was in the summertime or something, like it was like 14 weeks out maybe. That's when I spoke with Darren, and he introduced me to the Hogans, and then we jumped on with the Hogans and had a proper training block then going into that.
Got it. You mentioned the Hogans. That was something that I wanted to touch on. What does how does that work, and what does like a typical week look like for you? What's a typical week?
Yeah, so like they're quite good. Everything's uploaded on an app. So we've got all our workouts on there, and then you upload everything that you're doing because obviously there's weights and everything in there. It's not just like the running based as well. There, to be honest with you, it's quite full on, really. Obviously, if you're not looking to progress, like there's no point being with them. So there's 6 sessions. Well, I started off at 6 sessions a week, so 6 days a week, one session each day with a rest day. And then it's like, you'd have a full body or an uppers or an a lowers, a few running sessions and a few wads in there. And then it kind of just grows week on week on week in regards to the amount of load across those sessions, with a few sims and everything. And they put like testing blocks in there so that you're constantly progressing. So as soon as you start to get to a point where you feel like you're getting on top of your running, they'll do a testing block, you all being well knocking a better time, and then they up the speeds of what you need to be running everything at. So you never really get time to adjust. So it's really good. So you're constantly pushing yourself. Going into this next block, obviously now that we've qualified for the Worlds, and I've obviously said I want to ramp it up significantly. I'm now up to 10 sessions a week. So I get 1 day off. So I've got 4 double sessions. 4 days where I'll do 2 sessions, one in the morning, one on the afternoon. And then 2 days where it's just a single session, and then we have 1 day off. So at the minute we're up to 10 times a week and probably running around 55 to 65 kilometers a week, something like that at the moment. So we're getting a big running volume in going into this next block now.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Fair bit of running, mate.
Now, we spoke a little bit, via WhatsApp regarding the heat and all that kind of stuff. What's it like out there in terms of the running? Just not possible outside, or?
No, it's okay. I've adjusted now. So like this is the winter in Dubai. So it's only like 28 to 30 degrees outside. So I go out and I get my runs and so forth done of a morning, like 5:30, 6:30. If you go at that sort of time, it's okay. You don't want to go in the middle of the day, it's still too hot. And then in the summer, so preparing like I did for HYROX September, I had to do the whole running block on a treadmill inside because you won't go out. It's like 50 to 55 degrees outside. So you can't, as soon as you go outside, you're gassed within 5 minutes. So so in the summertime here, everything's inside in the aircon gyms, all on treadmills. So that's why, whilst it is winter and you can get out in the morning, I just make the most of it at the moment. So, but it's helped because you can get out, get on the running track, so you get used to your own pacing. So it's a lot better. So yeah, I'm just making the most of it at the moment.
Nice. You mentioned a treadmill. Is that just a standard flat treadmill, or have you got like the assault runners, the curved treadmills?
We've got both, to be honest with you. We tend to just go on your standard ones, like your Techno Gym standard ones, so you'll just get your pacing sorted, which is good because if you're jumping in from a WOD or anything, there's none of this like, I'm out of breath, I'll build it up. You're straight in at your race speed. So yeah, we get the settings right, and you're straight in at that, and you just adjust if needed, as per the training block. So it saves your knees a little bit when you're on the treadmills rather than like all the road running and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So many people suffer with injuries and niggles when they're running. You've got to really manage the load there, haven't you? Got to be careful.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, nice.
100%.
Nice. So that leads us then into the HYROX debut, HYROX Dubai. What was the event itself, the lead up? I think there was a couple of the big boys were over. Ryan Kent came over, and was there a bit of like a razzmatazz, or what was the event like?
Yeah, no, it was a really good event, to be honest with you. Obviously, the first one like that out here, very CrossFit heavy in Dubai. So like, there's loads. I mean, from like the first week of September all the way through to Christmas, there is a CrossFit or there's some form of fitness competition on every single weekend. So you can't beat it for like the fitness community. They absolutely love it out here. But obviously CrossFitters aren't the best at running, or the ones I know aren't the best at running. So obviously a lot of them, I think, just thought, the weights aren't that heavy. So they've all given themselves, 2-3 weeks to prepare for the competition. There was a lot of people competing in it, to be fair. But I don't think everyone realised how full on the running would be. Especially compromise running, it's completely different, isn't it? When you're absolutely knackered going into that kilometre, like especially after a sled or something. But now it was a good competition, and say they flew Ryan Kent in. they flew Lauren Weeks in, Michaela Norman in as well. So there was some decent names there. Obviously, with it being Dubai, there's always a little bit of prize money up for grabs as well.
Okay.
So I think it was something like I think it was like $3,000 or something to the winner, and then maybe 1,500 to second place, 500 to third or something. So they always put like a little bit of prize money or a little incentive on it out here as well, which is quite good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess we're going to miss the mixed doubles out. We'll come back to it. That leads us on to the next HYROX Dubai. Is that same? Is there a cash prize there up for grabs?
There is, yeah. They've actually put it out today. So I think there's, I don't know how they're breaking it down though. So there's $10,000 up for grabs, but that's split between like the men and the women or something like that. So I don't know how that looks in regards to the podiums. Yeah. So yeah, there's a little bit of money up for grabs.
So finishing in 5th place in your first HYROX, then you've definitely got your eye on that.
Well, I've got to come top 3. Got to get paid. Got to get something happy.
There you go. That's what it's about, man. Love that. Love that. And then going back to the, so you did the HYROX Dubai, great experience, great time, by the way, 106 for your first effort. You know, it's only going to get better.
I was fairly happy with that, to be honest with you. My target was anything sub 110. You know, first one, I weren't sure, even though you do the sims and everything, doesn't change the fact that on the day it's very different, isn't it? So also Dubai was, when we spoke to our coaches, they said, listen, don't worry if your times are a little bit off where you're aiming to run, because it's a 3-lap course in Dubai. Now, a lot of the HYROX courses are 2 laps. Yeah. If it's a 3-lap course, although it's the same distance, you're going to naturally be slower. You're having to do a lot more turns. It gets a little bit more congested on the bends and everything as well. You know, so there was that to play with as well. So anything sub 110 was always going to be, you know, I'll be happy with that as the first one. And then I ran in at just over a 106, which I was really happy with, to be honest with you. I was quite surprised myself. A few other people were surprised as well with that sort of result. So it weren't a bad place to start with it being the first ever one, to be honest.
Yeah, of course. Brilliant. Any predictions? What you're thinking maybe for the next one then? Obviously, I don't
like to say, mate.
Yeah, you don't want to show yourself, do you? No, we'll leave that one.
But the good thing is, what's really good is it's the exact same venue, so everything will be the same. There'll be no changes. So obviously, rather than it, I mean, it'll be a real true test to see how much I've come on in the space of 6 months. Obviously, I'm lighter now than I was when I ran then. I'm a lot fitter, and I've done a proper training block now all the way through. So I'd like to think I can shave a good couple of minutes off that time. And I say, like, you know, even if it was a 105, 104, it doesn't really matter what it is. I just want to make sure that it's going the right direction, because I've got no excuse. It's on the exact same venue. So you can't go, oh, it's a slow course or a fast course. It's exactly the same one that I raced on last time. So it'll be a good indication as to where I've come in the last 6 months. So obviously got to go sub 65. That's the absolute minimum target. But yeah, we'll see how it plays out, really. I don't know who's flying in for it yet. You normally find that there's always someone decent that will fly in, you know, the day before, so like last time. So let's see who turns up, really.
Okay. Yeah, it was a bit last minute, wasn't it? They announced Ryan.
I think, yeah, man, I think they announced him like 3 or 4 days before or something. I mean, fair play to him. He flew in. Wow. I think he must have been jet lagged going into it. He must have been, because I think he only arrived like a day or 2 days before, and he's come straight from America, so there's a big time difference as well. So fair play to him turning up and smashing it the way he did as well.
Yeah, did the business. Yeah, fair play. I think the time was 59 something. So it's way off his best, but still to go sub 60 on what a 24-hour travel and minimal sleep, and his prep must have been all over the place. His food and all that.
Yeah.
So fair play to him. Yeah.
No, it was impressive. It was watching him do the first couple of laps. I was like, oh, I'm not even going to attempt. I'm not even going to attempt to run anywhere near this guy. He was sprinting the laps. So different level of running for those guys at the top.
It's crazy, isn't it, Matt? Just levels to everything. Yeah.
It's just crazy how they can move that quickly and still like fully compromised as well. It's just crazy. They just don't get tired either throughout the race. Just really well drilled, aren't they?
Fair play. I think, you know, coming from a background, you know, like a rugby background, MMA, boxing, all that kind of stuff, you think that you're quite fit, and well, you are to a certain extent. You know, you're fit for rugby, you're fit for MMA, but when you see these real fit boys, it's just you. It's hard to put into words. You've got to see it and experience it to understand it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think unless you've given it a go yourself, you don't actually realise, because you just think, oh, but they're not running that quick.
Yeah.
And then you kind of go, well, go on a track now, fully fresh, and you try and run at the pace that they're running at, fresh.
Yeah.
And suddenly you'll go, oh, actually, that's really hard. And you go, yeah, they can maintain that for an hour or for for however long's needed. Like, they do not drop off. Yeah. And they've done a station between each one. So when you start putting it in perspective, it's scary how fit these guys are.
Yeah, I think that's the point. What you just said there is, you don't really understand it and appreciate it until you've actually experienced it yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
I think the moral of that story is, for anyone listening that's not yet done a HYROX, that might be current or former pro rugby or semi-pro rugby or football, and you're thinking, you're looking at this HYROX thing, or people call it HYROX, don't they, with a D, and you're looking,
and
you
actually annoys me too.
If you're listening or you're watching and you're thinking, I might give it a go, the advice is just jump in, give it a go, get started. You get your time, you get all your splits, obviously, on the McIntyre and on the website, and you've got your baseline to work from then, and you can really understand and appreciate the effort that these guys put in.
Yeah, and just boycott the Open. Just go straight into the pros. Give the pros a go. You'll respect it a lot more then. Yeah.
Listen, I don't want to miss it out. It's the mixed doubles in Frankfurt. Give us a quick overview of that. So you and the missus, little weekend away, some German markets, Christmas markets.
That's why we booked that one in, to be honest with you. So we were looking at we were going to come back for Birmingham, but Birmingham sold out. Birmingham seems to sell out rapid every year, so we'd missed out on Birmingham. Then we were thinking of going to do Dublin in October, and then we were like, oh, it's probably not the best. Basically, we thought, if we're going to go back at that sort of time, if we're going to go back to Dublin, I mean, we might as well go back to England, but we'd already been back in the summer, and then Christmas isn't quite the same out here, so we looked at a few races, and I went, oh, it's Frankfurt, the Christmas markets and all that sort of stuff in December. That would probably be a really good experience to go back at that sort of time and experience the market, and we can tie it into a race as well. So it's more just a weekend, like a long weekend away from Dubai with the race thrown in. But then obviously we had, going into that, I mean, so we'd done September, October, November, December. So we'd probably done the best part of a 6-month block with the Hogans going into that. So we felt fit, we felt really good. And then we kind of had a discussion about how we were going to break the race down and so forth. And we'd looked at race times previous, and we were like, oh, we could potentially take a podium here if the times that we can run to and the stuff that we've been doing in our sims kind of pays off on the day, we might be in the mix here. And then obviously we turned up on the day. I was doing the times, so we've done the first lap. And we were aiming for like to be honest with you, we were aiming for a 4:30 kilometre each lap. Yeah. And first one, I got too excited and paced us completely wrong. And we came in like after 4 minutes, the first lap. And I was like, oh no, what have we done here? So we were both gassed, to be honest with you, going into the ski. But it was scary as well, because all the Germans that were there, I think we came into the ski erg in like 15th or 20th place or something like that. And I was like, wow, these are quick, because I thought, well, we've run too quick. These are really quick. And then come out the ski erg, and it was a really good race to push us, because we would have someone come out that would just stay ahead of us, and we'd kind of like just try and keep up with them on the run, and then we'd overtake 2 or 3 people at the next station. Then we'd get to the next run, and it seemed like everyone was really good runners basically. And then a few people would be just ahead of us on the run, and then we'd take over another 2 or 3 people at each station, and we worked the way through like that. And then we got to the lunges, and when we got there, we hammered the lunge. I think we were like 2nd or 3rd placed over the whole day on the lunges. We blasted a good timing on that. And as we were coming out the lunges, I thought we've got to be in 1st place here. And there was another team next to us. And we both threw the bag down at the same time. And then they shot off. And I thought, I wonder if they're from the wave in front and they're a bit slow. And then they fired off into the run. I was like, oh, they can't be from the wave in front. They're running they would look too fit, and they were too fast on the run. So I was like, oh, they've got to be our wave, and that's the only person ahead of us on the wave. So we came around on that as well, got into the wall balls, and we beat them on the wall balls. We just kept going and going and going. Didn't want to let the ball touch the floor, really. And we picked them on the wall balls and came through, and we looked up and we were like, bloody hell. We were aiming probably for like a 105 or something like that. So when we came in and saw that it was like 1 hour, 50 seconds, and then get up on the podium. And unfortunately, he didn't come up onto the podium, but the only team that beat us was Tim Wenich and his partner for our age group, which, you know, it's not a bad person to lose to, really. So, yeah, we claimed second place and got world qualification. So we were over the moon. Like, we were absolutely buzzing, to be honest.
Brilliant, mate! What a story! Love it. I was enthralled into that, so I hope the listeners enjoyed that, mate. That was wow. Can you remember what did you do on the wall balls? I assume you started. Did you do a good?
Yeah, it's a lower wall ball compared to pros, so I'm used to training with a 9 kilo ball. So we broke it down. I did 50.
Yeah.
Oh, was it 40? 40, 20? No, it wasn't. I did 40. Alice did about 30, and then I finished.
Yes. She's there as well.
She's claiming that she's done about 60 here, and that I've done 40. I'm not having that. Suddenly piped up in the corner. I was like, nah. Yeah, so something like that. Yeah, but the guy, basically, me and the guy went on to the last group. And I was like, I can't put this wall ball back down now. I've got to keep going. And then luckily he broke and he had to stop. And he stopped and then he had to swap. And in that time, literally a couple of wall balls in it. And that was the difference. And how they came third overall and we came second overall.
Wow. Love that. That's that rugby, that mentality, isn't it? That's that.
It's so much better, to be honest with you, because when I raced in Dubai, it was, I know I came fit, but by the time I came off, I got onto the rower in first place in my wave. And the next person that come in, I'd already done 600 metres on my rower. And then I didn't see anybody else in my wave then again, unless it was on the runs for the rest of the race. So it kind of felt like I was just kind of doing a run on my own, really. When you get someone that's like neck and neck with you like that, I mean, that's how we put the time in that we did, because having such a competitive race like what we experienced in Frankfurt was brilliant. Like, I mean, I would never want to get put in like an easy race or something, or a wave that's like a little bit weaker. Like, after experiencing such a high level of competition throughout the whole race, and like getting into your like one-on-one race, like, you know, your personal battles with people as you go along the way, makes the race so much more enjoyable. So like, and obviously in turn you end up putting a better time in. So it's absolutely brilliant when you get something like that. So we're really looking forward to the Worlds, you know, because obviously that's going to be another level completely. So that's something to really look forward to.
Yeah, love it. I just excuse me a sec. Yeah, that's awesome. Listen, I think that's a good place to stop on. Yeah, I know we've both got other engagements, haven't we? So, Micky, what a chat! I'm
That's
sure.
brilliant, mate.
Well, I'll see you at the Worlds in Nice. Yeah, if not before.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, obviously we'll be in touch. If people want to follow you, Instagram, I think it's Micky Steve, is it?
Yeah, Micky_Steve, but I might change that to, like, I've noticed all these top people in HYROX have some sort of weird name, don't they? So you'll have to get creative and give me a name, mate.
Okay, right.
But the Birmingham Bullet or something like that.
Love it, mate.
I don't know.
There we go, the Birmingham Bullet. I love it. Yeah, so if you want to follow Micky, it's at Micky, there's no E, it's MICKY. Yeah,
MICKY_Steve.
STE. There we go. If you're out in Dubai, give him a shout. You can go and train. And I look forward to seeing you. I look forward to see you, catch up, follow the journey.
Yeah, you too, mate.
See the time in Dubai. Yeah.
Thank you. It's good catching up with you.
Top man, and you. I'm going to finish with a little outro, and then we'll call it a day. So, guys, listeners, watchers, what an episode! Brilliant. Thanks again to Micky. Brilliant stories, and excited to see what he can do in the sport. So, guys, we hope you both enjoyed and feel inspired. If yes, then please share so we can inspire more people. Comment below. All feedback is appreciated. And then the outro is, at Smash Life HQ, we are on a mission, simply inspiring people. We say enjoy the journey. So wherever you are and whatever you're up to, thank you for listening and have a great day. remember, it's nice to be nice. Smash life. Yeah, man. Peace. Hey, cheers, Mickey.
Cheers, mate. See you later. Thank you.
Bye-bye.